Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Yasharal's Court, an end time series. To you who have been following along with each segment of this series, I salute your fortitude. I salute your patience. I salute your hunger and desire to discover set apartness in Yahushua Messiah. I salute your choice to pursue the will of the Almighty Father. May anything that comes out of my mouth or any actions that come out of this body that is deemed to be set apart, representative of righteousness, may the credit be given to Yahushua Messiah, and that he is lifted up, and that we witness him draw all men to himself and present us before the Almighty Father Yahuwah. These words, these messages have been addressed to those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Creator. If you have not already, you will come to know his true name Yahuwah. You will come to know that Yahushua, Messiah, is the name that has been emerging as a result of truth coming from the hidden areas that were covered with pagan labels and false idol terms known as Jesus Christ or God or Lord. We witness Yahuwah's name rising among us as the true name of the Almighty Creator. We witness Yahushua, the true Messiah's name, emerging. We have come to discover that the letter J is less than 500 years old, and that many terms that we thought represented the Almighty Father or Messiah were pagan in nature. And they are falling to the wayside, and they will continue to fall to the wayside as true Yasharal, the true Hebrews, or Abari, or Abri, whichever form you choose, the true chosen of the Most High will arise, and those represent many nations, kindreds, and tongues and tribes who are considered Gentiles or other nations or Goyim, who will be grafted together as one in Yahushua Messiah under the banner of Yasharal. We are family. You are my brothers. You are my sisters. We have arrived to the final segment of this end time series entitled Yasharal's Court. Yes, this is the 15th installment and final segment to this series, my brothers and sisters. This segment is entitled The Wait, The Return, Emerging Proof. The Wait, The Return, Emerging Proof. My brothers and sisters, the goal of this series was to bring awareness that there will be set apart justice, that there will be the structuring of a nation, that our decisions, the choices we make, we will be held accountable. Therefore, the decisions are on trial. That judgment and right rulings exist before us each day with each passing breath. We render a verdict, we make a decision, we make a choice, we execute a judgment, whether to go left or right, whether to be still or act, whether to speak or be silent. Judgment and right rulings exist within us, my brothers and sisters. Let us pursue the righteousness of the set-apart spirit that the Almighty Father Yahuwah sent in Yahushua's name, so that we judge righteously by his guidance, by his orders. With that said, if you're tuning in for the first time, I invite you to continue examining all 15 priorities, as I believe they will prove to contribute towards the establishment of priorities for these end times as Yasharal is perfected, structured, and brought into unity. My name is Symmanayah. Today is September 12, 2014, and this is part 1 of the final segment. Again, I welcome you. My brothers and sisters, we continue with building a case. And in this case, in this situation, this last segment concludes specific priorities that I believe are very critical towards Yasharal's gathering. I pray that you are able to examine each segment. I pray that they are reflective of a court scenario where you would examine the words that you've heard, the messages that have come forth, that you come to realize that your decisions are reflective of examining the things that you have seen before you and rendering a verdict, realizing that you will judge, realizing that the Almighty Father will prove all that is set apart, and in doing so, in the midst of his proof, we will recognize set apart justice emerge before us. And in that emergence, we will recognize that there is indeed the structuring of a nation. I have recommended, like in times past, that you examine each message in sequential order, beginning with the introduction. My brothers and sisters, just as in Numbers 16 chapter where Moshe or Moses spoke and waited for the Almighty Yahuwah to respond with proof and power, and in days of old we have witnessed Eliyahu or Elijah, like in this 18th chapter of 1 Kings, where he spoke and waited for the Almighty Father Yahuwah to respond. So we are now at that point where we wait for a response to the words that you've heard regarding Yasharal's court, to the words that you have heard regarding the end times. We wait for a response. In number 16th chapter, the earth opened up as well as fire came down and consumed the fire holders, whereas the earth opened up and consumed Korah, Dathan, and Abiram in company, and they were swallowed alive. In 2 Kings 18th chapter, fire came down from the heavens with proof of the words that Elijah spoke, proof of his position in the message and words in which he delivered before the people. You have heard the messages of in these words, and you have chosen a position. So will proof come from the Most High Father Yahuwah through his set-apart Spirit sent in Yahushua's name. In what form and what shape, we know not. But know this, it will come, my brothers and sisters. Remember your decision. Remember the choices you made regarding how you managed the instructions, the guidance, the reproof, the warnings, and other words presented before you. Remember your actions, for in the wait we will witness emerging proof regarding all that is righteous and set apart. We will also witness in due season the return of Yahushua Messiah at the Almighty Father Yahuwah's appointed time. This final segment, the wait, the return, emerging proof, will be evidence that their origins came from above, and there will be no doubt left for man to wrestle with as humbling times become intense. Pray and watch. Now let me ask an opening question. Why is it necessary to conclude this series entitled Yasharal's Court with a segment entitled The Wait, the Return, Emerging Proof as the last priority for end times? My response and answer is, there are four certainties ahead. We will either be a participant of a final exodus, a martyr, face physical death before the return of Yahushua Messiah, or witness death due to unbelief and rebellion at an appointed time. While people have proven to represent different beliefs and have various interpretations of scriptures and or books regarding set apartness or how to pursue a life with the Almighty Father, we will come to discover that there is one truth. In the midst of our division and battling over what is indeed set apart in Yahuwah, the Almighty One, through Yahushua Messiah, end times are just that, the final existence of man in these earthen vessels as we know it. Judgment day before the throne of the Almighty One, Yahuwah, comes, my brothers and sisters. Words, instructions, warnings, reproof, and much more will continue to go forth, But one thing is for sure: the wait, the return, emerging proof, will be recognized as a point we have reached in the midst of all disagreements. What side will you be on when humbling times emerge? What side will you be standing during your wait? Are you one who anticipates the return of Yahushua Messiah, our Mashiach? Are you one who will demonstrate love for our Mashiach Yahushua? Trying times have begun, and they will get intense. We will be tried and tested. We will be refined and refined or purge from among the chosen, refined, reproved, perfected in Yahushua Messiah, or purged from the ranks of the chosen, the called of the Spirit of Yahushua, the children of obedience, those who will be among the ranks of the final exodus in or appointed as martyrs. We will learn to come away from wickedness and evil and compromising positions. We will learn to purge wickedness from among us. Next question: what do you believe will occur between now and the return of Yahushua Messiah, our Mashiach? My response, my brothers and sisters, is individuals that are physically alive on this planet will face forced transitions or forced migrations. Both believers and those who serve the wicked one will find their lives disrupted. There will be forced migration, forced transition to those who sleep and slumber. Those whose eyes are wide awake and ears are open will move as so ordered by the Spirit of Yahushua. There will be billions killed during the Great Tribulation. Yasharal, consisting of the 144,000 true Hebrews, Abri, represent 12,000 from each of the tribes of Yasharal. True tribes of Yasharal will rise up, along with individuals from many nations, kindreds, tongues, grafted together as one in Yahushua Messiah. And we will discover that we will be humbled, refined, and gathered from the four corners of the earth. We will witness those left behind, and there will be many who will face martyrdom for the reign of Yahushua Messiah. Betrayal will be widespread from those whom we love. We will witness a falling away due to unbelief in or plain rebellion. It will be a time when we will discover the importance of fresh air, fresh water, food, a safe place to rest our heads, as well as come to realize the power in the words that state that man does not live by bread alone, but every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Almighty Father Yahuwah. Things that we have taken for granted for far too long will take a front seat in our final days. Life as we know it is about to change. The industrial world as we know it is about to be humbled like never imagined. It will be a time of adjusting and adapting to the structure of a sovereignty or kingdom as most may know it. During these final days, we will come to recognize the meaning of submission and true leadership. The phenomenal and extraordinary is about to be unleashed like never before. There are and will continue to be orders, commands, warnings, and reproof for the children of the Almighty Father Yahuwah, the children of obedience, those who are not appointed to his wrath. We will come to identify the need to lift up Yahushua Messiah, our Mashiach. We will come to know that we lift up Yahushua Messiah, our Mashiach, by our worship and obedience. Structure, unity, and togetherness is coming for those who will be among the ranks of the final exodus. I am compelled to believe all the conveniences we have come to be accustomed to having will be laid waste. We will come to adjust and adapt to the simplest of things, such as fresh air, fresh water, food, and a safe place to dwell. The time of increasing death and destruction have begun. It will not retreat. It is enlarging while most of us are sleeping. The collision course for our end, as we know it in these earthen vessels, have begun to ramp up or speed up, whether you realize it or not. One of our biggest surprises will be those who are chosen by the Spirit of Yahushua to lead and direct us as we find ourselves migrating from place to place until we reach that final place of safety. There will be those who will discover they are ordered to a specific place and will come to face martyrdom for the reign of Yahushua Messiah. There are those who will find themselves going from place to place, being gathered together to fulfill what is said about returning Yasharal from the four corners of the earth. Fulfilling what is said that we are not appointed to the wrath of Elohim. There is no doubt that there will be pain, anger, resentment, disappointment, confusion, and a vast array of many mixed emotions. We will experience some who will be rejoicing and having comfort and understanding and knowing what must be done and witnessing end-time prophecy be fulfilled, knowing that the return of Yahushua Messiah draws near. The wait, the return, and emergence of proof is upon us, my brothers and sisters. Next question. What do you believe life will resemble as we arrive at our final destination where we will await the return of Yahushua Messiah? I believe that there will be anxieties, there will be uncertainty, excitement, and many mixed emotions, as I stated, among us. I believe we will have faced and continue to face extreme and very extreme humbling times with every passing day. There will not be a McDonald's, a Wendy's, a Five Guys, or any type of burger establishment where we find ourselves waiting for the return of Yahushua Messiah. I believe as I was given a vision of a place where we will find ourselves without conveniences such as quick service restaurants, full service restaurants, and/or cafeterias, grocery stores, drug stores, whether they're legal or illegal, bottled water, canned food, frozen foods, and many other things which we are so accustomed will be a thing of the past as we find ourselves gathered to that final place where we will wait for the return of Yahushua Messiah. It was as though I heard the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua saying, listen to the people among you. And as I inclined my ear, it was as though I heard people saying, you should be grateful that you are in the midst of those who are in the ranks of the final gathered. It was as though in the midst of all that will and have unfolded, that there was those who wandered and wondered what really is happening outside of the camp of the final gathered. Just as though there were those who questioned Masha or Moses or Moshe's leadership after being delivered from Mitzrayim or Egypt, so will it be among the ranks of the final gathered. There will be those among us who will question the leadership, even as we are gathered from the four corners. We will witness unity, but remember, there will be some tares and/or goats among us to fulfill what has been written. Believe it or not, these will be those who outwardly demonstrated an appearance that led us to believe that they were one with us, but inwardly they were as ravenous wolves. All too often, my brothers and sisters, I have witnessed individuals grasp one passage of scriptures or more, but fail to recognize other passages, fail to keep all scriptures whole. This is necessary for us to understand the life in the words, the written text, in the message from the Almighty. The true chosen leaders of Yahushua will demonstrate wholeness in interpretation of scriptures, wholeness in teachings, practices, and behaviors expected of us, a set-apart body of one in Yahushua Messiah. Pray and watch. My brothers and sisters, there is no doubt in my mind there are those who would dismiss these words, individuals who will promote a do-nothing attitude, some intentionally, some knowingly, and some unknowingly. There are no doubts in my mind that there are those who are and will continue to wrestle with unbelief. I am compelled to believe we will witness deliverance from strongholds like never before. We will come to understand what it means to guard the laws of the Most High Father Yahuwah. We will come to realize they stretch far beyond just what is written, far beyond the written laws and ordinances of Masha or Moses or Moshe. We will discover what true living Torah, living instructions represent, along with how to honor all set-apart times such as Shabbat, new moons, and feast times. The children of obedience, the children of Yahuwah, during our final days before the return of Yahushua Messiah, our Mashiach, we will learn the correct way to measure a day in or days, to measure time as directed by the Most High Father. All in all, my brothers and sisters, it will be a time of much destruction and death outside of the camp of those who will participate in the final exodus from the four corners of the earth. It will be a time of worship, improved worship and obedience to the Most High within our camp. It will be a time of continued perfecting, continued refinement as we grow in strength in Yahushua Messiah. It will be a time of adjusting, adapting to a set-apart life like never before imagined. Are you ready? Have you given thought in or prayer as to what is expected of you, what you must do to prepare in or be prepared for in the coming days, the trying times ahead? I will pause right here and ask that you continue with me, my brothers and sisters, by tuning in to part 2. So stay tuned, my brothers and sisters, as we move into part 2. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.